Hi Divine Rebels and Divine Rebel Youngbloods. We are getting into another one of our super emotion series here. Today, as the thumbnail and title probably has let you know, we are going to work on transmuting, doing some spiritual emotional alchemy on transmuting anxiety into a superpower. Now this is a emotion that affects many a person. Societies usually nowadays are pretty much geared towards making sure that we are, have this cranked up full notch, because anxiety and stress, well, let's just say a lot of companies, a lot of rich people make money off of it, literally. Our stress and fear and anxiety going into, fear being a little bit different, but that anxiety about whether or not we are going to do enough and be enough and have enough in the future propels us to make many purchases, tolerate things that we normally wouldn't tolerate when it comes to, whether it's government officials, bosses, relationship dynamics, many things. So quite often our anxiety is working hand in hand with other emotions and letting us know where we don't feel safe, where we feel like we may be inadequate, and then it gets so tuned in that it can even be running and operating on its own when we don't have cause for it. Just that foreboding, that feeling that there's something we should be anxious about because we're so used to that dynamic. For me, I will share what I've found out, and what's been helpful for a lot of people that I've worked with over the years is anxiety can be transmuted into the feeling of excitement. I can explain it best as the color yellow. There's some kind of yellows that are sickly and more cause for concern. They have an ill feeling to them, right? The caution. And then there's yellows that are sunshine and sunflowers and happiness, and like the sun card in tarot. So when I get really anxious, sometimes I literally visualize, can psychically visualize, and tune in to see what color is that vibration that I'm picking up. And then I think of it as when you do like a slider to turn up the volume or something, and focus on having my energy resonate more and more closer to that feeling of excitement and empowerment, because anxiety can be a very solar plexus concern, right? It eats away at who we are, what we think we're good enough for, what we think we can accomplish. And so that's what I'll do, and I'll be like, they say that if you're depressed, you're living in the past, and if you are anxious, you're living in the future, and you're worrying about things that haven't yet come. So anxiety and worry being about the future. So that's just something that I've learned to transmute it to, is excitement about the potential for what could be, whatever that is. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys as well. We have 4 options here. We have an aquamarine. I love you too. love. That is right. We have blue calcite here. We have blue lace agate. My finger's off, y'all. We have Merlinite over here, okay? So go ahead and choose your options 1, 2, 3, or 4, and we'll see you on your timestamp. All right, for those of you that chose number 1 with the aquamarine there, we're going to go ahead and get into your reading. We have cartomancy cards. We also have 2 different tarot decks. We're going to do a live shuffle today and see how can you make anxiety your superpower. We already have the Queen of Diamonds popping off fast here. We have the Jack of Hearts, and we have the Ace of Hearts. All right, let's go ahead and grab some tarot. Decks will be linked down below as per always, and all information in the description box. Let's see, how can you transmute anxiety into your superpower? How can you transmute anxiety into your superpower? Making anxiety your superpower. All right, we have quite a few cards that want to come through. We just need 3. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands. We have 2 of Cups. I saw that when I was shuffling and I was wondering if it would come out. And the Princess of Swords. I have to move these over a little bit. Okay, the backdrop does not want to be flat today, y'all. It's Aquarius moon. Why should it? Wonky as all get out. Yes, it is Aquarian energy, and when I'm filming it, it is sextile Jupiter and Sagittarius. So I truly believe that energy stores in things, and so I always let you know the astrology that's popping. So although we have a grand square, if you count Chiron and the North Node, with cardinal signs right now, which do show that, you know, in anxiety inducing dynamics, we have this blessing of moon aspecting Jupiter and good things being able to come in. So a lot of excitement can definitely be in the air. All right, your last card here for those of you that chose number 1. How can they transmute their anxiety? We have, again, the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so the Queen of Diamonds is like the Queen of Pentacles in tarot. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing for you guys. Let's actually bring these down so you can see them. But yes, Aquarius moon, y'all. So wonky sounds, wonky filming. Okay, so I feel like for you guys, a lot of your anxiety is coming from the fact that you are focused on other people's relationships, like what is going on in other. Look how close up this Page of Swords is looking at someone else's Ace of Hearts. Okay, you guys can be so focused on other people's relationship and what's going on, and like it could even be celebrities, but looking at how are other people loved. It's almost like if somebody gave you a bouquet of roses, you're already looking at, but what are you giving the other person? You know, so it's like this kind of feeling. Maybe it even started from childhood, from siblings, but there's this comparison that goes on with you. And it's the root of your anxiety for many of you. Okay, there's this competition and it's just eating away at you. I'm literally feeling like I can't breathe right now, like my breath is getting short, like I feel stressed, my jaw's feeling tight. Some of you have teeth issues, or you're grinding your teeth at night. You might have asthma or some kind of breathing concern that's been on, that is affecting the chest, you know, the throat. When there's heart chakra and throat chakra concerns, it can block off breathing, cause, you know, some breathing ailments going on. So you guys, some of you have concerns with that. There could also be eye concerns, I'm seeing, okay, because you're always using your third eye, your foresight, to be kind of in other people's business, in their gossip, in their situations. Now some of you are like, no, I'm not like a gossip hound or anything like that, but you might kind of be, in a way. You might be where you hold the information about what other people got, so you might get just a little smidge of news accidentally, but you're comparing what you have. So look, in some of the family that I'm not around, there's some air signs, right? And they're sisters and they're older, so they should know better. They should have been known better, okay? But they always have had this dynamic, very kind of catty air sign dynamic, where they'll shade each other, you know, and they always got something to say, but they always stay connected in a codependent way. And the one has the dynamic, their role is that they never have as much as the other one, right? So they have beautiful yard, beautiful house, looks like better homes and garden, but the other one, you know, has a bigger house, and the husband built 2 houses, not just one house, and then they moved out and upgraded and all of this. So there's always this comparison of, well, the other sister's better, and there's just these like kind of catty dynamics. So there's always like, it takes over their relationships with everybody, and it's like they're dependent on that connection, that no, I have to stay connected, this is my role, this is who I am, you know, and it just takes over their whole life. And for you guys, you're operating, your anxiety really looks and seeks out connections that will validate those roles, okay? So I feel like you guys are someone who love really tries to come to you in many different situations. Like I'm seeing 2 of Cups, Ace of Cups, Page of Cups energy here with the Jack of Hearts, and yet you can still feel like as if you're not so loved, you know. Some of you have grown up a little you know, and if you haven't, don't worry, but some of you have grown up like, you know, upper middle class or higher, okay? You've had kind of a cozy life. You've always kind of had what you needed and haven't really had hard times or had to worry, and yet there's this anxiety because you're always sure that somebody else is getting better or more. It's also reminding me of another air sign actually that I was friends with, and all of her cousins were like, they were richer than her family, and her parents divorced, so she had a single mom, but they had a nice house, y'all. They had like a really nice house. Her college was paid for by her mother, you know, they had nice things. She could go move back home when she wanted to, and and, you know, basically have the run of the house. And but her family all drove very, very expensive cars. They drove drunk they did not drive drunk, y'all. They drank Patron like it was 40s, okay, from the beer, y'all. I can't talk right now, from the gas station, okay. Like they were really well off. They were super well off, and you know, just had very kind of open, generous lives. And so she, even though she was very well off herself, she never felt that way because of others. So some of you, it's just like there's a discontent, this anxiety that you have. I can't even talk, y'all. I feel like I can't talk. I can't breathe. I can't, you know, it's just like this stress. Oh my gosh, like so stressful. Excuse me, my phone's saying I need to plug it in. And so it's saying, okay, like everybody calm down, seriously. Whew, take a breath, because you guys have way more than you think. And even for those of you who picked this and you're like, well, I did have some, you know, tough circumstances, like you still might not realize when you have blessings, because you're thinking that blessings look like something else, okay, or that somebody else's blessings are more efficient than yours. Sorry, it was not letting me mute it, y'all. Aquarius moon. That somebody else's blessings are more efficient than yours, or, you know, all of these kind of things. And I feel like basically I'm hearing I'm just getting so many stories to tell you guys for yours, okay? But it's basically saying like you are loved. You don't know what somebody has made. Like people are making themselves out of nothing, and you're just like, oh well, look at them having it so easy. And it's like, no, they're not. And I don't feel like this is you, but it's like this programmed anxiety. So it's like you have to recognize what you have. It can be definitely that societal programming. So I'm in from the Midwest, where I was born. I'm from like the Midwest and the West Coast, right? I was born here, raised here a little bit, and then raised there a little bit. So currently still traveling through the Midwest right now. But so what people do here is that people they'll act like they've had really hard knock lives when they haven't, because they have this entitlement to like be rich. Okay, there's a reason why the person who's in the White House is in the White House, right? It was playing off of this thing that other people are making us not be rich, but it wasn't the rich they were going after, right? Anyways, it's this discontentment with what we have, and if we get someone else, if we stay focused on what everyone else has, then we'll have more. If we take away from others, or we're supposed to be having more, what we have is not enough, okay? And so this is saying, no, you have to have that sense of contentment. That's the quickest way for you guys personally to shut your anxiety up, to shut it the hell up. And then it's like literally you have so much love and connection and finances and stability, and like I can just feel my heart chakra open, and it's just like whoo, like this big whoosh of energy just come in, because some of you are feeling empty, and so you're wanting, well, I want someone like that. Well, why do they get to have a spouse like that? I'm gonna be honest, some of you are even trolls and haters. Like you'll be the people that will be on like a couple's YouTube and be talking crap about, oh well, she don't deserve him, and da 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 da, or oh, I hope he breaks up with it. Like why though, right? It's from this anxiety of not feeling like you have enough, no matter how successful you get, or no matter what love offers you get, okay? So this is saying that's the quickest way to uproot your anxiety, is to tell yourself you're enough, you're loved, you're blessed, okay? And that let that energy come into you. And again, some of you are saying, well, I don't have anyone now. And it's like some of you have gotten, it's like that Five of Pentacles energy, although it's not here, I'm feeling it, where it could be where you've kind of your energy has been so closed that you've kind of Scrooged yourself, you know, your anxiety has tricked you, Scrooged you into being alone, like you know, the Christmas Carol, whatever, different holiday, okay? And so again, so if I'm not being clear enough, because it's just like it's taking me in circles, it's like it's giving me the feeling of how you guys feel and how it spirals, and then you look for a way to like project it onto someone else, and it just comes out like poison, right? And people, I know sometimes people say, well, why? I know how it is, you don't have to explain it, you don't have to say all that. Yeah, I do, because then that helps us remember it, right? If we say, you know, oh doctor, my legs hurt, well, when does your leg hurt? That's what they ask, right? Well, it hurts when I do this, that. Okay, so now we can treat it better, because you can be aware when you're doing that, right? It's the same thing spiritually. We need to know how, or what are the reactions that this caused, so we can properly heal and transmute it, okay? Because now you can know to put extra love and awareness to yourself in those kind of situations. Now you can be aware that those situations can be triggering to you, so that you can calm your anxiety down and say, wait a minute, okay, I'm feeling, you know, upset right now because I'm feeling anxious when I'm watching this. Why am I feeling anxious? Because I feel like I'm not going to have a love relationship like that. Why am I feeling like I'm not going to have a love relationship like that? Because I don't feel secure, or like what I've earned and accomplished is enough to allow me to have that relationship. See how that works? So although it's frustrating, and some of you do show it as frustration and anger, you can cover, some of you can cover your anxiety very well. You might want to watch the anger video as well. And some of you do it through just like doing whatever the other person wants, okay? There definitely could be Libras, Cancers, Pisces in this. We have Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgos. All right, yes. Geminis, definitely Geminis, because a lot of the examples I was thinking of were Geminis and some Aquarians, okay? We do have all elements down, to be honest. Yeah, so I feel like in all those examples that I gave of the people who were being really miserable, they all had really good lives and really good opportunities in every other way. They literally, not that they hadn't, you know, lost a loved one or some, you know, had something happen to them in life, but that was natural. But in all other regards, they had, so like, just people that loved them, just wanted to be close to them. They had opportunities, they had gifts and talents and skills. They, you know what I mean? It was just a matter of them not being able to get beyond that belief that people didn't really like them, okay? That's one of the biggest lies your anxiety tells you. Point blank, like, shoot it with a bow and arrow. Shut up, anxiety, you a damn lie, okay? So you need to tell your anxiety how much you're loved, because that is a huge energy field. Anxiety is an energy, right? So if you have all that space, that's anxiety. You transmute that to the feeling you want it to be. You want it to be the feeling of love and safety and abundance, and that's what you focus on doing. Turn it into excitement for how much love you're gonna have, because you know what, if you can, this is the trick, if you can spot love when someone else has it, you have an affinity to that vibration already, right? See, people forget this. This is why I love like window shopping, and some people hate it and they'll talk crap about people who do. I was just seeing someone on YouTube, they were talking about, oh, I hate when people come in the store and they don't have money for something. Leave them alone, let them manifest, right? If you can look at something and recognize that's love, turn that feeling, that lie in your stomach that tells you you can't have it, that anxiety, turn it into excitement. Oh, I can recognize that, I can have that in my life. Now you can't go maybe snatch theirs. That can be a negative action that some of you guys take. You might try to infiltrate other people's relationships or opportunities or career path. Good, yeah, good, tomato. Oh, thank you. I had to take it out, y'all. She feed me little, she's so sweet, little tomato. Right, yes, so yeah, so it could take those manifestations, but now you know, when you see that, you no longer see it as competition. You're like, wait a minute, I caught that, so I could be good at marketing too. I could be good at being an entrepreneur. I could be good at having a beautiful, loving, thriving relationship. That's right, because I peeped that. And I'm not gonna let my anxiety sit here and take away like my foresight. That's what anxiety is, a thief of foresight. No, oh no, shoot, we, instead of sitting here and having anxiety about what we think we can't have in the future, we're about to be visionaries. That's what we're gonna do with that foresight, okay? And you have so much love, like that whole energy field. Imagine that entire energy field within you just wanting to blossom into real love, okay? And to just acceptance and reciprocity and security and thriving, okay? So that's how you transmute your energy, your anxiety here into a superpower. And that's a badass one, man. That's a good life right there. That's a beautiful life right there. Baby does some tongue pops. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. All right, for those of you that chose number 2 with the blue calcite right there, we're going to go ahead and see how you transmute your anxiety into your superpower. Now, when I was getting ready to come on to your read right now, I had to pause because there's actually ambulances and police, like a full 911 call, like all the vehicles right now, really loud, and they stop pretty close. So I feel like some of you, your anxiety comes from situations happening in the world. Some of you might have had an actual 911 scare, something that happened in your family where there was a need for resources to be called, you know, hospital or fire or something. I don't want to go too much into that. We're not trying to trigger it. Yes, so I'm very sorry if anything like that have happened. So for some of you, it is PTSD, and your anxiety is connected to that. So we're going to go ahead and draw your cards here. We have 3 decks. We're going to start with the playing cards here and see how you transmute your energy. We have the 9 of Wands, first card down. That is 9 of Clubs. Okay, y'all, I was talking to you without my mic on. I had to come back. Whew, it's a lot to channel. You know, I channel as I read. I'm a psychic intuitive reader, so it's a lot. It's a lot. I can feel it in my chest. Now you guys got the Ace of Hearts and the Jack of Hearts, even though we shuffled very thoroughly like number 1 did. So some of you guys are picking more than one option. I thought it on the first one, and then I got distracted and they didn't have me say it, but on here I'm thinking AJ are significant initials for some of you. Okay. Yes, I'm also hearing Alice. So and Alice and James are the 2 names that are coming up right now. Okay. So let's see, for your other one, your other segment here, we have the Hanged Man, the Lovers, and we have the 9 of Cups. Okay, I'm also getting Anne and Jane for the names. I know sometimes I'm like, okay, but a lot of people could have those names, but they're like, well, it's significant, so say what. If we're passing you something, say it. So I'm just gonna let you guys know. Okay, and Annabelle. Okay, let's see, we have the Seeker of Swords, which, yes, that is a card of being on your journey for solving your anxiety here. Okay, so let's get into it. What have we got going on for you? For a lot of you, you guys have a hard time if everything's not perfect. Okay, this is where your anxiety kicks in. If everything is not perfect, it feels as if things could get bad again. Okay, so some of you, you did have a lot of niceness. You have experienced vibrations of happiness and love, but for some of you, there's been some kind of betrayals or traumas that happened. Like I said, there could have been emergency situations. You know what it is. You know what any of those situations could be. I also feel like there could have been a chance at one point that maybe your marriage was going to separate, different things like that. It could have even been your parents' marriage. So there's this idea that when there's happy times, the shoe's going to drop, right? Not the foot, maybe the foot, like when you step and you think there's a stair and there's not. That lurching feeling, the rug being pulled out from under you. Okay, even here, like you didn't expect, all feet aren't on the ground. So you guys really, I feel like a lot of you are very spiritual. You really want to have good, healthy partnerships. A lot of you don't like there to be anything that's not nice and happy. I'm getting Sag, Libra, Pisces energy very strongly here. Could also be some Cancers, Scorpios. We have most of the elements here. We have air and fire as well. Aries, Leo, Sag, and Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like when you feel like, okay, well, I did my best and I manifested and I'm a good person and something bad still happened, it's like it's just devastating to the core. And some of you are just afraid of that situation happening. You're afraid that at some point something negative could happen, no matter how good you are, no matter what you do that's, you know, I'm wanting to say like superior, or like, you know, it's what I'm getting. Okay, this is the image I'm getting. You know what we talk, if you've been here for the channel for a while, you know what we talk about here. So this is like, you know, being driving while black, like that kind of thing, right? Where no matter what you do, sometimes you're going to get profiled, pulled over, your life is at risk. Some of you have those kind of anxieties and fears where it's like no matter how good you do, because of, for some of you it could be your religion. I'm seeing someone with like a well, you know, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want to feed into prejudices that are out there, but the imagery that they're giving me is for instance, something that is religious that you could be wearing that would have you have a target on your back by what, you know, by pervading society, because they have a prejudice about your religion, okay, or your race or something of that nature. So some of you are really carrying generational traumas. That's what we call it, right? It's in our spiritual DNA, it's in our physical DNA, our responses, it's in the programming of how we were brought up. Some of you are from the LGBTQIA plus community, okay, and there could be fears because of that. So it's like there's this beautiful happy life that you guys just try, like you guys have, a lot of you just have so much pure-hearted energy, and you really want to be at peace and just make a beautiful world, just live your life, okay? Literally the picnic, okay, the barbecue, y'all know about that. And you're just like, can people stop trying to phone the police on me? What did I hear? I heard the police. Can people just let me live? Like, what's going on? And so the fact that things like that happen in society can be like, oh, always waiting, right? Always knowing that at any moment the neighbors could do something, and that's the root of anxiety here. Now, some of you are coming from you know, the privileged, protected, religious, or racially protected groups in your country area, but you might have that programming of knowing how that system works, okay? So you still feel like, you know, it's like reminding me of like Stepford Wives or something, where it's like, hi Ted, our lawn's great, we only used, you know, half a gallon of water this week, did you? We do exactly what we're supposed to. It's like that kind of vibe, right? If you don't do exactly what you're supposed to, you're going to be out on your rear and not have security and love and respect. Now, I do also get that some of you could have been veterans, come from military families, or have families that are responders or things of that nature as well, okay? Trauma, and also be warrior hearts, okay? Because people who are out here protecting and protesting, that's what we call it, but for the land and for you know, social justice and stuff, y'all are warrior hearted families as well, and we know the cost that takes. So that's what I'm getting from where this is all stemming from, okay? Now, what I'm not getting, because I know someone's going to say that, if you have a cushy life and you're from privilege, I'm not saying, oh, this was your past life, you were a minority. I am absolutely not getting that, and they just told me, no, that's not what we're saying, okay? What I'm saying is, playing into the classes and knowing how the system works, that's what gives you anxiety. And I've, like I said, I'm from the Midwest, and I've seen that work both ways, where people work the system, they get all the blessings that they want, but they know the cost and they know what it means to the other groups of people, right? I'm seeing that basically you wouldn't want to switch shoes with the other side, okay? Let's just say that. So what can we do about this? Well, one, I feel like tearing down walls is a big way for you guys to get rid of your anxiety, okay? Deprogram all of these fears that this is, y'all have a packed situation, so stay with me. A lot of yours is spiritual work, okay? It's spiritual work, it's social justice work, it's learning to see people as people. So for those of you who come from more empowered situations where you don't have to worry about your safety in society as much, but you're aware of the game, it would be, your anxiety is going to come because when you spiritually align with the utopia you say you want, okay? Where instead of just saying love and light, you make sure that the children of color playing down the street aren't getting racially profiled, and that you're a safe space for them. When you make sure that you actually care about, you know, the homeless veterans, and you're not just saying, you know, doing that, oh, beautiful America stuff while they're out here homeless, okay? Things like that. Your anxiety for some of you is that alarm of you are accepting and operating in a system that is not spiritually aligned. That's what it is. And it's like radar, warning, warning, warning. We're in a crisis situation here. This is an emergency situation. Why are you acting like everything is fine? Why are you acting like everything is okay? All right. That's for those of you who come from that side of things. For those of you that come from the side of being the oppressed and having, you know, the traumas, trying to stop the violence, you might have to create safe space for yourself, okay? As much as we want to go out there and again create the utopia, basically you have to create space for yourself to heal. You do. And to find ways to feel secure and stable, and make sure you're okay. Myself, right? I've been out there literally. There's horrible things that happen to people who are out protecting, you know, people from being poisoned in their water system, and you know, just all these horrible injustices that happen, right? What just happened right now where well, you know what, let's just stop. Just inform yourself, y'all, and follow my stories on Instagram if you want to hear the social justice stuff, because I don't bite my tongue, period. Okay. Basically, for you that have gone through that, you have to learn when to give yourself breathers, because what I do is I go out there and I just go, but I've learned that part of being, you know, a lover, a warrior heart, someone who wants to change things in the world, and you know, truly live a good life, not just, you know, spiritually bypassing pain that others suffer, but to truly, you know, create a better world. It takes its toll. It takes its toll on our families and on our hearts. It makes us stress. It makes us have our hackles up, and for good reason sometimes. So what I have to do is make sure that I go into safe spaces. What I have to do is make sure, like on my channel, like I've done before, ain't nobody prejudiced coming on here talking shit. I don't care. I don't care. It's YouTube. This is my channel. This is my platform I brought up. I'm going to speak on what I need to speak on, and I'm going to, you know, block and address anything that is not aligning to me and, you know, all of the people that I love and protect, having safe space, right? So some of you have to find a safe way to create areas like that for yourself, okay? And not just feel like in order to be loving, you have to let people always be triggering you, stealing from you, taking from you, or keeping you in unsafe space out of fake niceness, okay? I'm even getting some of you have moved to a neighborhood because you wanted to be moving on up, but now you're realizing you don't feel safe, right? Because at any moment they might call the cops on your barbecue. Okay, so this is real talk. Shit got real on yours, you guys. So it's saying, make sure that your happiness and this love that you guys want to have isn't ignoring, you know, these real world issues that are there. Because that's where your anxiety starts squeaking away. It's that squeaky wheel that won't be quiet. It says, nah, we should be doing more. No, we shouldn't be benefiting off of, you know, people being whatever horror it is. Okay, look at my hashtags and add any others that need to be added there. Okay, check the description box, y'all. That's how literally for y'all become a superhero. That's what you do with your anxiety. When you're feeling nervous, when you can't breathe, when you feel like when you can't breathe, all right, you go out and help others. How can we get free? How can people be safe? You know, for instance, if you suddenly have some anxiety when you're around because you're like, oh, I don't like being around these people because, you know, the group of people that I have to be around, these, you know, successful private school or whatever, they don't really care, you know, they play class games. Well, what you can do is go to those children they're excluding and make sure they got lunch and make sure they're taken care of. Like knock out the system. Don't just sit there and have anxiety and be like, oh yeah, it's such a shame. It's such a shame. When I went to Standing Rock, I had people in the family that they were like part jealous that I would actually go out and be brave and do stuff. They're married into the family, right? And they're very, a lot of racial issues and things, okay? They're not, yeah. And they had the nerve to sit there and try to pick apart like what, well, you shouldn't do it this way though, we shouldn't do it that way. Well, that's not very, what we're going out there and showing love and support and trying to protect the environment and these innocent people, right? And what more, like, what are you talking about? And then we're being villainized and hurt because of, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? We should make sure that you and your little gossip group at your school feel comfortable with what we did, right? And so some of you, that's going to be like, don't take their anxiety. Don't take society's anxiety. Just go out there and do something, you know, take action to bring happiness and peace and safety and security to not just your family, but your neighborhood, to those around you. Okay. And that's a big transmuter of anxiety. And I didn't even realize, I mean, I did realize that I do that, but I didn't and I don't know, I'm just remembering, I guess, that is a way that I handle it as well. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Flip the script. The Knight of Swords, he can be very opinionated and in his lane about things, but what people forget is he's changeable. He's Gemini, so he's still learning, and he's stubborn about it, and he'll fight people and he'll argue about it until he finally gets it, and then he's like, oh shit, and then he becomes a crusader of truth, not, you know, somebody's truth, but you know, the true moral good things, and he learns. He grows into that King of Swords, right? That Aquarian energy, that environmental humanitarian energy there. So you guys have the ability to do that. It's like, don't box yourself in. Don't go with what everybody says. Don't, the stereotypes that are put upon you, or the ones that you have inherited, that your caste has put on to others. Like, dismantle the system. Dismantle the system, and because you'll never feel like that's a true happiness. Okay, you won't. And it's with the Hangman here. It is part of your spirit plan, part of your divine plan here, and is to help that, to bring real levels of love. It's not just chasing a romantic partner. Okay, that's not what your spirit wants. Your spirit wants to be a blessing to others, and to truly just have the chutzpah to go out there and do it. So listen to that that anxiety, that stress, when it's saying, oh, someone's in danger, or what's going on in the world, what's going on. Okay, you guys have the ability to do something. All right, and again, take your breaks. Some of y'all, it's like I said, you've gone through some trauma. You're out here, you are trying, and you are, you know, being safe space for others. You are out here, whether it's calling representatives or whatever you got to do. And y'all know, just waiting a year or two to vote, that ain't it. You got to be changing our lives and whole mentalities and stuff. And I know that's why you're here, because we're learning how do we transmute our energy into superpower energy that works for ourselves and others. So y'all could really put that cape on, and like that's, oh, your soul, I'm just feeling it. It's just like part of your soul plan. Your soul wants to really do some good stuff. You came to this realm at this time. I mean, everyone did, but y'all really came to the realm at this time, to Earth, incarnated for a reason. And that's why that anxiety gets you. All right, because you can affect change. So listen to the people, right? You got to know what the people need. It's not to say go and have a savior complex. It's saying no. All right, instead of calling the police on the barbecue, see if maybe you can have a seat too, and connect with people and see what's going on. What do they need, right? Sit down with the homeless veterans in the street. Sit down with the person that looks different than you, driving the car you think is too expensive for them, or whatever. Okay, because you guys have the ability to bridge many gaps, and undo a lot of negative karma, and start creating positive karmic relationships where your ancestors failed. So y'all's was a big one. Okay, and I'm very grateful to do this reading. I hope everyone received this one. I know some people their anxiety, their fears is going to try to talk some shit first. Okay, but it'll sink in, and when it matters, I trust that your spirits will remember this greatness, and that you guys will, you know, that comforts me to know that you guys have this ability for our future generations, and we really need that in the world right now. Okay, so thank you so much for those of you who are receiving this medicine, this message. I really appreciate that. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I'll talk to you again on another one. All right, for those of you that chose number 3 with the blue lace agate there, let's go ahead and see how you transmute your anxiety. Okay, we have 3 different decks. We're going to do them as a life shuffle. We have Baby Magic over here kicking in with us, sharing her time from her mama. Okay, we have the King of Clubs. It's so funny because this was the card after the other 3 from the last reading. That was the next card, and I was wondering if it wanted to come out, and it did. We have the 8 of Wands, or 8 of Clubs, and the King of Hearts. Okay, a lot of King energy here. Let's see. We also have, let's see, we're gonna pull some tarot. I love you too, baby. Thank you. Let's see. Transmuting your anxiety. The 3 of Wands. We have the 4 of Cups reverse. And the Knight of Cups, the Knight of Chalices. All right, and we're going to go ahead and get one of these tarot cards here. How can you transmute your anxiety into a superpower? All right, we have the Magician reversed. So here we go, here we go, here we go. I really think some people are watching it all the way through, and which is great, thank you. And I hope it's very helpful for you on many levels. Kind of like reading a book on it instead of just a chapter. That's pretty cool. All right, we have Three of Wands, Four of Cups reversed, Knight of Chalices, aka Cups, King of Clubs, Eight of Clubs, King of Hearts, and the Magician reversed. So, to be honest, I think you guys get anxiety out of boredom. That's what I'm seeing. I think you get bored, and it's like you don't know what to fill up your imagination and like the power of your mind. It's nervous energy. Some of you are very mercurial. You might have midheaven or rising ruled by Mercury. It's so meaning in Gemini or Virgo. You could have prominent Gemini or Virgo in your chart, third house placements, sixth house placements, or strong Mercury aspects to the rest of your chart. Okay, especially your sun and moon, Venus or Mars. Okay, so basically it's like this restlessness. It's like if you try to put the wind in a jar, right, and then all of a sudden the jar goes from sitting still to being like, like it's just moaning and wailing and hitting from wall to wall, like it just random, because it's like, how can you harness the wind? So that's how your guys' energy is. It's very cerebral. Okay, there could be Aquarian aspects or placements as well, Aquarius or Uranus or 11th house. Okay, and also Sagittarius. Some of you might be asking for your child, is what I'm getting. Maybe your child. Yeah, so I'm feeling like you guys could have had, when you were in school, or your child might get, if you're reading this for your child and trying to figure out how to help, there could be that, ADD, ADHD, you could have people tell you that, or we need to homeschool, we have to do different programs. Could even be accelerated learning. The mind works very, very quickly, okay? And quite often when there is a lot of cerebral energy, or the Mercury placement is in universal signs, mostly in Aquarius and Sagittarius and Pisces, you can see that quite often, okay? Where people just don't understand. We even have the Eight of Clubs, which is like this quick, okay? I do see strong Aries, Sagittarius. Oh, Aries is another mercurial placement that can have that as well. Aries, Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, Virgo are the strongest placements here with Aquarius, but we do have water, fire being the most dominant, okay? Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sag. So what I'm seeing for you guys, yeah, it's like you get bored, and some of you keep waiting for things to come to you instead of going out and getting them, and that's not really, that ain't the tea, honey. Okay. Honey, you guys get your blessings in other ways. Okay, so basically you guys could have this unnecessary anxiety that comes up because of, oh, I'm excited about something, but then that tanks, or I don't go out and meet it, so now I'm having anxiety, and then I'm disappointed, basically. Okay, it's like you could go and be used to, I'm actually seeing some of you like order a lot online or do impulsive things. So some of you could be into like gambling, like stress things, like anxiety, ordering movies on, you know, demand, or ordering food, or just, it's like this delivery, this quickness. It's like you like that excitement. You like that excitement, but then maybe for a little danger, and I'm not like laughing at you, I'm just like, you know, we kind of understand sometimes you order a package and then you get yourself worked up. It's like 2-day shipping, you get it worked up over anxiety. When's it going to be here? Oh, it's supposed to be in this city. Like, you know good and well they're going to wait and overnight that at the last minute. But it's like, it's something to feel, it's something to do, so we're not bored, right? Something that's coming, but we let that excitement turn into anxiety and stress ourselves out. So it's like you guys have this kind of knack, this programming of doing that, of, oh, my mind's bored for a minute, let me get anxiety about something, because if I can't feel excitement, anxiety is the closest thing. Like, what can I do to feed this little cycle? Okay, are they going to message me back? Are they not? Like, where's the cliffhanger? Like, where's it's just like this feeling that you have. It's so closely hinged on wanting anticipation or excitement in your life. Okay, wanting a quick response. So I feel like you guys do better when you run out and chase things and just live on the excitement part of it versus letting it fall back into anxiety. Okay, your superpower is action. It's like passion and action. That's your thing here. We have the King of Cups and the King of Wands. Again, a lot of you can be fire water dominant or have that very prominent in your chart, like especially your Mercury and Mars connection, or your Sun and Moon. So whew, it's like, get out there and get it, instead of being here like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have anxiety. I ordered furniture from, you know, across the world and it's gonna take 6 months to be here and I'm gonna have anxiety the entire time. It's like, man, you might as well just been adventurous and bought yourself a ticket. Just take flight, go off and see it, you know. All right, so some of you do have anxiety that also stems from local surroundings, transportation, environmental pollution. So when I used to live in downtown LA, right, after a while it was just too much. It was like, you know, just sounds and exhaust and, you know, smog, all that kind of stuff, just all the time, 24/7 honking. And then once I came out and I lived in the country, I was like, oh my gosh, like, wow, I just realized like the weight of all of that sound, like that pressure, that this unknown stress. I knew I needed to decompress, but I was like, well, dang, like, wow, that was a lot. So kind of like children, baby Magic right now is going through phases where loud noises will upset her and frustrate her, and she won't want to hear them. So around her age, that happens with children a lot. They start, you know, just not wanting that. And so some of you, it's just reminding me of that energy. Some of you might even have a toddler around or live near like a school or just a lot of noise. So that is something to take into consideration as well. I'm definitely seeing transportation being a huge anxiety. So for you, since you know that it is a large concern, you might invest in ways to alleviate stress. So for instance, if you're like, I'm just thinking of different things, like maybe prepay a card that has all the money that you'll need for the lift, or if you could, or, you know, buy the monthly bus pass so you don't have to stress about if you got change every morning, or, you know, just little things that you could do to, if you know that you're able to help alleviate the situation. You know, just prioritize getting those kind of concerns taken care of so that you don't have to like live on the edge. And again, there is that kind of reckless, like, no, I want to live on the edge, I want to, you know, I don't want to do it. So some of you are kind of keeping yourself in a place of stress by I do see, again, like spendthrifting, spending your money elsewhere, and then not knowing if you have enough to make ends meet on certain things, and you're like, oh well, that's just my life, you know. Don't judge me, I live a little precariously. And it's reminding me of that movie where he's like, basically like, you're not paying your bills because you like that little sense of danger and not knowing if you're gonna make it or not. Now, of course, times can be hard, and that might not be the whole reason, but if you know that you're like, yeah, I do feel like I can't pay for things, and then at the end of the month, I'm like, dang, you know, I ended up spending $200 just willy-nilly that I didn't even know I had while I was over here, anxiety management, right? So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. I'm seeing you be able to become more empowered. The King of Clubs is like, you could be very good at business, and you could be good at it because you do take risks, because you can be someone who's into creative financing. With this Pisces, there's like a Pisces, Scorpio, Leo, Sag, Aries kind of vibe rocking right here. That can be really super good for being able to take a chance on yourself. Like you have to watch where you take your risks. Do it in the right places, okay? Not where it comes and hits you on the end because you procrastinate, then you messed it up, then you don't know if you're gonna make it. It's like, nah, take calculated risks in the right ways from the jump and know that you're ahead of the game, because you guys can be really lucky. And I'm laughing because I'm just like, Sag and Pisces, this is our thing. We procrastinate because we can get it done at the end, and because we just kind of have luck that way because we're signs that are supposed to go with the flow. But man, we be stressing ourselves like ridiculously sometimes, okay? So some of you might have an unaspected Mercury. I just got that as well. Or you just might not have the other side of the coin. And some of you have like no mercurial dominance whatsoever, no 6th house, no 3rd house placements, no Virgo, no Gemini. Your chart's just too chill to be bothered, and so then you can ironically get anxiety, but people don't know because you seem so calm, and inside you're like, oh my gosh, I think everything in my life just blew up simultaneously. Like, cue the music, like the like, you know how they blow stuff up in movies to like Ode to Joy or something. Oh, and I'm just laughing because that's how Pisces and Sagittarius handles it. We're just like, haha, yes, my life is a mess. Thank you for asking. Wonderful, wondrous. Okay. But I'm glad that you're here trying to caretake and see where this is stemming from. So yeah, I feel like you guys could just be very creative. It's not that you get a no. This is what happens. Y'all are afraid you're going to be told no, so you do something reckless and then you get anxiety about it. Like, should I have done that? Am I going to be punished? Is the universe going to send something negative my way? Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm gonna get punished after all, just like all of these logical, practical people think I should be. No, that's not the case. Actually, that's not really. It's really, you are meant to have a very creative life for a lot of you, whether it's the arts, whether it is traveling, moving on the go, like a lot of things. I don't see your sense of stability and success necessarily being stable, stuck in one place, one city with one person. I see yours being more on the go and just flowing and taking risks, right? It's just a matter of how you do it so that you don't have to have anxiety at all, so you don't have to stress. So don't think that you're wrong if you're trying to like live on the road, or you're trying to, you know, go and travel different places, or you're living as an artist. No, you're not wrong in that. I don't see that at all. It's just learning how to do it in the right way. Okay, so I would suggest to study people who've successfully made it to where you want to be and listen to their pitfalls and don't do them. Like I always say, I'm with Kevin Bacon. He's like, if you want to be a good actor, become a good waiter. You know, he's like, don't have yourself out here, you know, just like on the streets basically and stuff. You know, get a job and be willing to do it. There's no shame in that. So it's kind of like, know how to back up all of your excitement and passions and dreams, and don't just, you know, not have anything but the high moment and then that dissipates, because then you go into anxiety and you're like, oh my god, wait, I'm ill prepared, nothing else in my life is taken care of because I put all my energy in this excitement in one area. Whoo, and then the balloon deflated. Okay, yeah, but definitely keep living that life, because not everybody can live life like a rock star like that. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And again, your superpower is your passion in action. Okay. We'll talk to you again on another one. All right, we are now at, those of you that chose number 4 over here, hiding tucked away in the shawl, the Merlinite. We're going to see how can you turn your anxiety into your superpower. All right, we're going to get some cards here. We're going to do some cartomancy, and then we're going to go ahead and pull out tarot. Well, we're going to pull them all at once, but we have the 7 of Swords. We have the King of Hearts. And we have the Jack of Clubs. I'm like, let's see, we're gonna get some tarot as well. All right, we have the 3 of Pentacles. I'm like, yep, the Queen of Pentacles reversed, and let's see, Strength reversed. All right, put them down here so you can see them a little bit more better. All right, and then we're gonna pull out one more. One more. How can you transmute your anxiety? Oop, okay, I had cards flipped the wrong way. Okay, there we go. How can those who chose number 4 transmute their anxiety into their superpower, their super emotion? We have the 3 of Wands. All right, you guys need to change your friend groups. I got that like bada bing bada boom right away. Are you from the East Coast? Are you from New York or Jersey, wherever that's from? Okay, yeah, I'm feeling like you guys need to change your friend groups for a lot of you, because it's not to say that if you just change externally without changing internally, that boom presto, it's the solution's fixed. All right, so I'm seeing you guys, yes, need to give certain people the clap, the door, get them off your porch. Okay, there's people around you that are bringing, you know, they say basically, are you the one losing it? Are you the one that is having a shitty life, or are you surrounded by assholes? Okay, because sometimes people, they will just keep shitting on you. And yes, that's a metaphor more probably for my Aries placements than my Pisces placements, but you know, it's true if it fits. And it's that grody, is that in your face and realistic right now. Okay, and some of you are having a hard time. It's the strength reverse. It's time to overcome, and that's why you're here. You're like, okay, what's my superpower? I'm ready. I'm done feeling anxious and just nervous. But see, when you know that somebody doesn't have your back, when you know people don't have your six like that, of course you're gonna feel some kind of way. Of course you're gonna feel nervous, like someone's gonna judge you, someone's gonna talk shit, someone's going to reveal your secrets, someone doesn't think you deserve what you have. You see that? You see how that adds up? And then all of a sudden you're just trying to walk to the fridge in your pajamas, get some grapes out the fridge, and you can't even feel at peace because you just have so much of that energy of not being safe and secure and supported by those around you. So it's like, it would be better to just not have any of those people around and be strong in who you are and have your mind right, and, you know, be able to strut through there naked in peace, than to be so I'm just getting that imagery where we're so stressed and have so much anxiety that it's like we can't even be ourselves when we're just by ourselves. We're still thinking about, what if someone judged this? What if somebody saw me on the webcam? What if someone, you know, I can't relax. I can't be who I am. So a big thing on your self-love journey, I'm also seeing, and on your journey to rid yourself of anxiety and transmute that energy that has been taken up in your life into something more powerful, is in fact to switch over who you have around you. Okay, some of you, this does mean having to stop putting finances ahead of your own mental health. Let's put it straight blank. Okay, some of you are in career situations, or you're dealing with partners or family members just because you're like, well, I feel secure, and well, I don't have to take the kids to school, well, I don't have to do this or that, so it's saving me money. I'm getting Taurus placements, huge Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo placements, Sun and Moon especially rising as well, Venus, Mars. You could even have it in like your seventh house. Yeah, I feel like that's about to break. Uranus in Taurus right now. We have Pluto in Capricorn, so trying to change up that Saturn in Capricorn, that earth sign way of thinking, that you have to sacrifice everything, you know, all mental, emotional, spiritual wellness in order to get what you need physically. Okay, so that can be at the root as well of anxiety for you guys, because when you need to have change, you don't want to, you pump the brakes, you don't want to hear all that, but it's like, man, you're miserable. And that's what I always think with people who have Taurus placements that I see, like, you know, that I've known, been, you know, related to and stuff. I'm just like, man, like, in Virgo, all earth signs, to be honest, I'm just like, that's not stable. Like, you're not at peace. Your life appears to be more at peace, but you're just habitually accepting a bunch of BS. Like, you've just upped your appearance of tolerance for a lot of things that are like slowly chipping away at you. Okay, ending your life over here low key. And so that's kind of the wake-up call within the situation, is that you don't want to be in there. You want to shift gears out of that energy, because every time that you accept those situations or act blasé about it, or say, or try to say, oh well, I got some extra coins for it, it's like, no, it's not really okay, you know. And I know with earth signs too, that does build up in your body. Like Taurus got to watch their heart, all that kind of stuff. Literally, they can, you know, have different things. So your body doesn't need to be holding in this physical anxiety. Some of you are like sick, and you've been sick for a long time and you don't know why. And for a lot of you, like, you're just having aches and pains and different parts of your body just overly stressed, and that's why. What is that called, where you can even get like a temporary, it can be a temporary like paralysis because of being so stressed, like on the face. Oh, I almost had it. But anyways, so some of you have gone through that. If you haven't, let it go. We're not trying to give you anxiety. We're saying this is kind of, there's a little medical intuition, spiritual medical insight here, letting you know you got to get it together, okay? Because it is wreaking havoc on your body. And so thinking that you're saving a couple coins, you know, or some of you, it's like you might try to sleep sleep off the anxiety, so you're like, well, this makes me more at peace, but you're dealing with a person or situation that it's more anxiety, because again, I'm just getting this image of like the children, maybe they're not safe around that person, or maybe it's, you know, you're dealing with somebody who is troublesome and it's keeping you in a toxic family dynamic, but you're saying, oh well, I'm saving money, you know, being here, or you know, this different things like that. So watch out how you hoodwink yourself basically, and you tell yourself that you're alleviating stress, but you're actually like amping up your anxiety like majorly, okay? And potentially eliminating the people who would be solid and really down for you, because they don't want to be around all that. So they're just like, no, okay, think that you're more stable or whatever, your routine, but year in, year out, like you're still a decade later around really toxic family members, or at a really you know, job that you feel is dead end, but you're saying you're secure, okay, because you got some benefits. But are you really, if now you need workers comp all the time for all these surgeries because your job ran you down, right? So it's like kind of rethink. And that's where these anxieties come. I feel like for a lot of you, you could even suddenly have panic attacks and you're like, but I'm fine, I don't know what's going on, I don't know why all of a sudden, because it's not all of a sudden. It's like you a lot of you put your anxiety into your physical body, you transmute it. And to be honest, I have, you know, I have Taurus in my chart, and I have some earth placements, and I can really relate to that, because I'm so chill when stuff happens sometimes that I'll suddenly, like, I literally, if I have a kind of panic attack, it'll be like this slow thing that will go all day long, like really low key, and I won't realize it. Like I'll slowly, like my body just kind of starts shutting down, and it will literally, it can take like hours for it to kick in, because I'm just like Pisces with Taurus, it will be so chill, and then before I know it, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel like my vision's gonna blink out, like I can't breathe, I just feel so sick. I'll start feeling this burning numb feeling in my chest and my throat, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm having a panic attack, and I have been for the past few hours, but I haven't noticed it. It's like this slow crawl. So some of you have that kind of energy, and your anxiety has a hard time communicating to you, hey, we don't like this situation, right? Hey, there's a situation, so this situation needs to change, and I don't think you're going to change it, so I'm worried about your future. So your anxiety does actually be a bit more communicative than just, you know, undue random I'm anxious for no reason, okay? Again, yeah, so again, I'm just seeing people around you, people around you, people around you. You will being around healthy, solid people. Some of y'all are like, well, I've never had that. Well, you know, it might take some transition time, and you might also have to learn to have better habits, because I'm seeing some of you could be very shady too, all right, because you've learned to operate within those toxic cycles. It could have been defense mechanism, it could have been necessary, maybe you had to be around certain family and deal with certain things, but it's saying now you can build yourself up in a different way now, and it's time to make different moves, get you different habits and financial structures and social circles and stuff, and you know, it's a part of your self-love, and that is your superpower that's coming out of ridding yourself of anxiety, is the excitement of having self-love, okay? That is beautiful, because when you do that, like imagine if I love myself right now, if I was truly comfortable with myself and I love myself right now, what would I do? And I want you to do this, write it all down or hold it in your mind, go there, journey there, and then think about, okay, if I really love myself right now and just felt good, and it's not about changing, just the feeling of love, if you really felt that contentment, that self-love right now, what would you let go of and cut off? What treatment would you not allow from yourself first and foremost, and from others? Whoa, right? Ain't that a trip? And that's what it is, y'all, literally a trip. Y'all want to travel, y'all want to accomplish things, you have all of these other things, and you might just stay in the toxic cycle of bringing in people who feed anxiety or who are stressed. Some of you can even call in people who are more anxious than you are, because it makes you feel calm and chill, all right? Or you could be very nitpicky about how people handle anxiety and stress and things of that nature. It's just a reflection. It's just a reflection here. You could also surround yourself by people who are really going places and are upbeat and, you know, just full of a lot of good energy, because you siphon that off, okay? So we do have some of that check the psychic vampires around you from our 31 Spooktacular series that we have going on. We just did one of those because some of you need to check in with the fact that because you have so much anxiety and don't know how to move forward and implement certain changes, sometimes you just find like an empath, somebody who's very spiritual, to latch onto. Okay, and that's where I quite find myself, is quite often I have very, very highly anxious people, but who are kind of, they thrive off of that anxiety, off of the cycle of it and the stress, and they attach onto me because I have a big energy field and I'm very giving and nurturing, right? And I'm very understanding. So I'm hoping that they're healing and working through the process, and they're just siphoning. And once you put that boundary up and say, no, that's not allowed, well, boom, they bounce. So some of you have that toxic cycle, okay, where you're a good friend, you know, showing as if you're a good friend until you get cut off, where people put boundaries and they say, no, you need to get your stuff together, like this is too much. Like you're causing yourself to have anxious cycles and living in that, and you're kind of addicted to it, low-key. And then you're like, oh, how dare they, you know, how dare they shame me, how dare they da, 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 da. But they have some good points, okay? So for those of you that applies, check in. It's good for everyone to check in. Even if I hear a message, I'm like, okay, that's not me. I'm going to check in. I check in with everything, because then, you know, I can know if I'm good there or not, right? There's no offense. Shoot, I want to be, you know, a healthy spiritual person, spiritual being and everything. So check in with that. Okay. I do see you guys moving forward, and having the ability to have this superpower, like I said, of self-love. And shoot, can't no one tell you nothing then. You're like 3 of Wands, and then you're going to be able to be around people who have major self-love without low-key feeling backstabby and feeling backbitey. Feeling like you need to go find. See, this is what happens. People who aren't fully healed in their anxiety, for you, it can go into jealousy, and it can go into you almost have to go get a shitty friend to be able to gossip low-key behind the back about the friend who's awesome, right? It's like for a minute you start off like just thriving and be like, oh my God, yes, we're gonna do the best things, we're gonna conquer the world. But then your anxiety kicks in and you feel less than, and they're still soaring. And so then all of a sudden, wait a minute, you over here feeling some kind of way. Wait a minute, you detaching. Wait a minute, you trying to go over here. And so now you got to get somebody who's kind of a slightly lower vibe friend, right? You got to get someone who's on some shitty shit so you can sit there and talk to crap. And that's a coping mechanism of your anxiety. So we got to transmute that into self-love so that you can stay on that high and stay trusting and believing that you're deserving of good things, that you're going places as well. Stay trusting that, and then you can maintain relationships with healthy people and change that story instead of trying to make them out bad, or oh, they thought they were too good, or this or this or this. No, they're living their best life, being a good person, thriving, being successful, and you are allowed to live your best life and thrive and be successful and be full of self-love as well, without having to feel like falling off, left behind, someone did something. So and I do think it will help you guys end relationships better, because a lot of your relationship cycles have not ended in good ways, okay? Because there's that anxiety can be kind of codependent and toxic, so everything has to explode or happen in a negative way, or people have to wrench themselves away from you, or ghost, or shut out, or I'm not saying that everything other people do is our responsibility, but that is a way others can cope if they're dealing with someone who's clingy and has anxiety, is, you know, acting out of anxiety and stress and those kind of tendencies. So self-love, self-love, that's a superpower. That's a superpower. And I feel like once you guys, you know, flip that coin over and you start working for it, there's going to be times you're going to slip up. You're going to have to catch yourself, be like, ooh, let me take that back. Why did I say that? That person's my friend. Why did I say that about myself? Like, I am deserving of all of this goodness. It's going to take a while. You have to get your mind right. Okay. It's going to be a change of the mind here, and it'll trickle down to all those places that those pockets of anxiety have hit. I think it's called EFT. I always forget the initials, but it's energy tapping. You tap on energy meridians throughout your body, and it helps release stress, because so this is important. I think you guys should know, if you don't already. Like, for instance, you know how animals shiver when they get scared? Or if you see children, if a child, like if you make a loud noise or something and it's like a baby, like a toddler, they'll kind of shake. That's a natural response, and we're actually supposed to do it because it means we're releasing that energy of fear and stress and anxiety from our body. We're literally shaking it out, right? But as we get older, we don't do that because we're supposed to be hard, we're supposed to be tough, we're not supposed to show emotions and things, right? So we hold it in. So what can happen is it builds up in the body. So when you tap, you release different energy buildups in your body. So really look that up. I did a lot of work, of course, when I was pregnant. You want to release everything that's going to be a blockage to your birth and your raising your child. And I hit on certain spots, and my body just started shaking, and I was starting crying, and I was like reading a book and doing it. And it was a pregnancy book actually that suggested it, and in it they like, the next line was like, you might start shaking and crying. I was like, oh my gosh, and it just, I connected intuitively to what it was releasing. And so I do suggest that your body has a lot to release. It's going to be a process, y'all. You're going to learn more and more how to be a better friend, how to let people love you, how to be around successful, supportive people, okay? And not just make excuses. Oh, well, I never have opportunities. When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When you get your mind right and your energy right and you're ready for it, okay? Because, we ain't about that anxiety. We know anxiety ain't successful. That's a lie. We ain't trying to be over here on that. But this self-love game, woo-wee, that's looking real good. That looks real good on you. I like that super emotion cape on you, okay? So that's what I have for you. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll talk to you again on another one.